Happy Thursday, guys. So I wanted to come on. I've had some calls say you haven't done a live in a long time. It's because I've been real busy. But this morning, it kind of took me a minute to even get myself together to talk about this story. So about a month ago, I met this young man that's currently incarcerated named Karlton Boone. I was contacted by his sister. He's currently incarcerated in Virginia Department of Correction. And I'm an advocate, so we're taught, or we teach ourselves, to work as hard as possible not to get emotionally involved in the case. But Karlton case, I mean, that case, I think I carry that case with me every day. Because we got a young man, he was 18 years old. And I'm not saying in his young life when he was 17, 16, 15, he was perfect. He was growing and becoming a man. And I read his paperwork, and, you know, he was charged, you know, with murder. And so I read his paperwork, because anytime I take on a case, I have to read the paperwork and pray on it to see where I feel led. And I ran across some letters that Karlton wrote, begging at 18 years old for his lawyer to just defend him properly. And I read this letter that his lawyer wrote, and I'm not going to go into detail about it because this is an ongoing case that's being advocated. But the lawyer knew in the letter that he wrote to someone else that this young man was innocent, y'all. And even though he knew that there were means to prove his innocence, he ignored Karlton's letters. He ignored Karlton's pleas. And he actually pushed for him to try to accept a 25-year plea deal. But Karlton was like, no, he wanted to go to court and fight it, which he was tremendously let down by his defense attorney, you know. And it was sad because he's been in there since he's 18 and he's 26 now. So he spent all of his adult life in prison. And so I spoke with Karlton, you know, because I do a video visit to meet them, to let them see, you know, I want to see who they are, and they see who I am. You get to know them. Nicest guy you ever want to meet. And, you know, the first thing I said to him was, I'm sorry for what you went through. That you were let down and nobody listened to your pleas to because all he asked for is to be heard and to do your best to go in court and defend me, because he said, I'm not a perfect person, but I didn't do this. And he was ignored. And it's just when you see a 26-year-old young man incarcerated, been given over 30 years, because he's been sentenced to 30 years. He's happy for the little things. He sends me an email every day just saying thank you for, and I know y'all not used to me crying because he said, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being the first person who believed me. And I sent Karlton a book because I told his sister, I said, he's been in there so long. I said, I don't want him to be institutionalized. So I sent him a book. And He emailed me this morning, and I haven't responded back because I said I needed a minute to get myself together. But he said to me, he said, Miss Marva, thank you so much for sending me this book. He's saying, thank you so much for everything that you do for me. And then he said, for the rest of my life, I'm going to always make sure I check on you. And this is what I want to say to y'all. Stop leaving these men in prison to die, y'all. Stop knowing that something's wrong and we do nothing. It's so much power in the community when we come together. And I came on here and I told myself I wasn't going to get emotional. But I feel like Karlton Boone is like a special case to me because he was let down. He was let down, y'all, so bad. And it's amazing that he's still in his right mind. Because I read the letters. He begged his attorneys to just listen. 18 years old. He said, I don't want to go to prison for something I didn't do. And he said, all I'm asking you to do is listen to me and go in there and do the best job you could do. And they ignored him. And he was sentenced to over 30 years in prison. And we sit as a people and we be okay with these young men in prison who grow up and then they come out as mid-40-year-old men. And we expect them to adapt. Not understand that they've been abandoned. They've been traumatized by the system. They've had people not to listen to them. And what they do is they learn to adapt, to accept the situation just to make peace with it. And I want y'all to follow me because I'm going to bring Karlton home. I'm not going to be the one to let Karlton down because he already been let down by the system. And that he doesn't deserve to be there. You know? And I get emotional because sometimes y'all see the things we say, but y'all don't see the paperwork and talk to these young men like we talk to them. He is such the nicest person. So respectful. Doing everything he can just to find peace. But this is what I want to say to the community. I don't care what race you are. Stop turning your back when y'all see an injustice. Stop saying, well, at one point he was this, but he didn't do this. And at the end of the day, the judicial system is built to make sure justice is done. And you got to ask yourself, if it was your son, your brother, your daddy, your mama, your cousin, anybody, would you want justice done? Or would you want people to ignore you? You would want justice. I'm going to get justice for Karlton Boone.